downs and he's in bye.
And usually you hope your bye comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get fresh legs back, you take that time and you run with it.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. Here's Mahomes to throw. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Now Mahomes throwing on second down, eluding the pressure right. A breakdown defensively there as the scramble is going to set him up with a much more manageable third down.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on second down.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. He's got it. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his second touchdown on the season. And the Ravens have taken the early lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Play action for Miller. Now Watson. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
To throw is Watson, and his throw is incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 3rd down. Charles, already trailing by a touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and come. Things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Taking a shot for Samuel. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing the receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback when he delivers the ball.
And going deep for Hill. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Well, you got a receiver here who's got one touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage and make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
Mahomes throwing on fourth. He is going to find Hill here. Wow, first and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. In for the score, and the Ravens will add on to their lead. And man, Charles, talk about zinging something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catches, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here, 3rd and 14.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore if you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. Mahomes going to throw. And this is caught at the end. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Ravens will extend their lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to it. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
This is taken at the 3. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
To throw on second is Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28, and he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. That pick six extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the third quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Back 22!
Off of play action, it's Watson. It's a loss of 7. And now it's third down. Third and long. It's Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. First catch of the game for Hopkins. It's a first down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to.
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Myles Garrett forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Underneath for Miller. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Here's Watson. Dumps it complete to Miller. And now Miller hit, and he fumbles. And the Ravens have got it. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
That's Samuel, caught left side. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Throwing now is Mahomes. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. To throw, it's Mahomes. Flush to his right. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Bernardrick McKinney in there to get him. And this pass rush strong now. That's sacks on back-to-back plays. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. And he's going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
They go play action here on first down. On the move to his left. And avoids the contact by sliding. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
faking the give. Now Watson. He'll buy some time right. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They've got a second down at 5 here to start things out. They'll try the air now with Watson. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah,
then
that's
with
right.
the Eagles.
That's right. Then against with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, not much there that time, and I think we were both wondering once he got out of the box whether he just throw the ball away, and he winds up only picking up a yard or 2.
Mahomes to throw on second down. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Going to need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. Mahomes now to throw. Taking a shot for Samuel. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
Definitely worth taking another deep shot here. He's already found the end zone twice here in the first half.
Yeah, go back to that same well. They've had trouble containing him, but able to contain him on that play. And Tucker, the former Longhorn, puts this one through. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game.
Back 22.
On second down, here's Watson. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
Caught left side, Hopkins. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Here's Watson now on second down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do? You got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there. Second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this day, has got to be priority one.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Offense.
You expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Throwing on third and long. Watson. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Von Miller in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. He's well on his way to a 1,000-yard season, maybe on pace to just tear past that, Charles. Defensively, they need to pay a little bit more attention to him?
Yeah, I think so, because remember, throwing the football, that can shred a defense quicker than anything else, because as soon as the catch is made, he still has the ability to, yards after catch, get downfield, gain even more, score touchdowns, all of that. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch as this progresses, to see how they defend him and how he changes up his game in order to try and keep getting open.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Wide open receiver complete. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout.
Black 22! Black 22!
Now Watson looking to throw on 2nd down. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
They can't tackle it. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. On first down, Watson. Short for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they march up another 15 against your squad.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Black 22! Black 22!
Now it's Watson. And it's caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Second and goal from the 1. They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. They isolate Hopkins on the left side. Back to throw, Watson. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down just inside the 5-yard line. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And his kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So the field goal there counts for it, winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Tyler Lockett now with a return. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. Where he stands right now, as you see, already over 1,000. You have to think 2,000 is a real possibility. Long way to go in the season, but what he's done so far, spectacular.
It is, and you know what he's also hoping for? He's going to play a lot of man coverage from here on out, because one of the best ways to slow down production is to go to zone and double, triple team, put a number of people in the area that you expect him to run into.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Ravens add on.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Green the line! Green the line!
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. The offense on 3rd down tonight, 5 out of 9 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Watson. Open man is Miller. He's got it. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go to the football.
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Watson. Hawkins on the grab over the middle. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the 2nd half. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the 2nd half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Now Mahomes. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. In for the score. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
This is taken at his 4. Oh, now he bowls him over. And he'll get this just up past the 20, but a marker is down. Let's get the call.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Yeah, this is going to put him back with not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Watson hands this to Foreman. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. Tackle made there by Myles Garrett.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. What a game for him, Charles. 4 touchdowns. Heck, for a lot of guys, that's a good season number.
You're exactly right. And let's face it, we have to stand up and applaud this one, even though we're supposed to be neutral, because this doesn't just happen by accident. This isn't 4 times where the defense just falls down or breaks coverage. He's worked awfully hard, changing routes, changing areas, changing angles, and getting open for touchdowns.
We knew he'd be part of the game plan in a big way, and it has been in a very big way.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well, what we call the...
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Bernardrick McKinney in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Got his target, Samuel. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there. 78 yards. And the Ravens add on. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it. But think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The Texans were penalized 124 times last year, 3rd most in the NFL, and now they come up 1st and 15. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Von Miller in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay, because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
He's going to look deep down the field. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. A monster game so far, 3rd quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers,
Absolutely.
Who find ways to get open, whether they uncover late in a route or they get open early, but they just always find a way. And he's having that type of a game.
Yeah, he's been nearly impossible to cover. He's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. Here's Mahomes to throw. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. That last catch, a big one, folks. He's now gone over 300 yards receiving in this game. It is a game for the ages.
Black 58 rail! Black 58 rail!
Mahomes now on first down. He's going to rifle one deep left side. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Mahomes will try again on 2nd down. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. Now Mike Tomlin says, let's go ahead and go for 2. Mahomes to throw once more. It's complete. And boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And penalty markers down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive. So that will push him back.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back. That penalty will move them back.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. The false start hurts him there a bit, backs him up to 2nd and 9. From the gun, here's Watson. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He won't go down. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats?
And that's caught inside the 30. A big play that time for the Ravens. 43 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket, because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Ziggy Ansah in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Now Mahomes throwing on 2nd down, being chased out left. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Ravens add on. And that, boys and girls, is an NFL record 6 touchdown reception. The record has stood since 1950. What a game.
How about that? Because so many things have to go right in order for it to happen. Not just him catching the passes. Someone delivering it accurately. Offensive line giving them time to throw the ball. A true team record. But he stands above it because he was on the receiving end of so many great plays.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. After some early struggles running the ball, they've really picked it up. Early it just seemed like there were no holes there. Now all of a sudden the holes seem to be there. I don't know if that's just my imagination.
And give them credit.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Von Miller in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And they're able to bring him down at the 20. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Here's Watson underneath for Miller. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And if they're going to take it in for another touchdown like they did on their last drive, they're going to have to do it the hard way, starting at the 1.
And boy, is that a difficult position. Obviously, where they are on the field.
He's got a man complete. He's at the 50. 30, 10, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there, 99 yards, and the Ravens continue to pour it on. So how about that for a backbreaker? Again, 99 yards.
And how about the audacity of the play call? When you're backed up that close to your goal line, usually you're just trying to run some type of a wedge play, a quarterback sneak, a dive, anything to try and create some room and take care of the ball. But that's confidence in your offensive line that they'll protect the guy throwing it, and he finds his guy for 99 yards. I love what they just did.
This is taken at the 3. And now running right through it. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Back now in Houston, and this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. From the gun on third, Watson. He finds his target, Fuller, and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
All-star offense.
So that'll back him up 5. A false start backs him up 5. First and 15. After the penalty, it's Miller. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Watson now to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down. Third and 2, Watson. He's got the completion to Hopkins. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, he had to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, turning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal. On third down, these guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable third down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball.
And he loses the football a second time. But I think a Texan player was able to get his hands on it, and they will indeed hold on to the ball and the possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here's Watson. That's going to be caught. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Kiki QT, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans claw one back.
And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead, and unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College. Not a heck of a lot of fun. I still remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
Bet that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards.
Oh, no. There was no ice bath. You just tried to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
Mahomes now on first down. He'll rifle this one deep right. This is caught inside the 15. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 46 yards. And the Ravens add on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And he's going to have the hook up to QT. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completion.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Watson hands to Miller on the draw. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on third down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
And that is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. Here's another failure right there on third down.
The Texans send the punter out. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at third down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Steven Nelson able to get a hand in coverage. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charlie, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because if you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Forced out to his left, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that, saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. Some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation.
And this is caught. Well, they get one back. Picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big.
Well, I do have one word for that touchdown for you, partner. You ready?
Yeah.
Cosmetics.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. The extra point splits the uprights as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of it.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? No, I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
Going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Throwing now is Mahomes. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
They did. And now out comes Houston. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
To throw is Watson, setting up the screen for Miller. And he's taken down inside the 30. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Watson on 1st down. He's got the tight end, Vanette. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. To throw on 2nd is Watson. Dumps it complete to Miller. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. Watson looks to throw again. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They have the big cushion. Here in the final stages of this one, I don't know if there's any better feeling than being up big on the road.
There really can't be, because for a team to go on the road and win in the NFL, that's huge to begin with. But just think about it.
And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Trying to get away, but could not.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
Interesting. Mahomes wants to throw it. His throw incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. And, he took that thing one-handed. What a grab. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Really? Really? Did we just see that? That's a big catch. One-handed, I might add. to pick up a first down.
I was going to say, on third down for the defense, it's one thing to give up a reception. You just kind of shake your head on a one-handed catch to pick up the first. Now Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Mahomes now to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right. This is caught inside the 15. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And that passing touchdown gives him the record for the most in a single game. We have seen a historic performance here in this one.
And the word that comes to mind for me, partner, is relentless. This guy today has been relentless in going after this record. And what an accomplishment for the new single-game record.
Mahomes now going to lead his guys up for the two-point try. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. And this is going to be caught. So add two more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the fourth. Up big, and they go for two, and they get it.
I remember being in high school and seeing an article in the paper where a local columnist had said, why are we fighting over sportsmanship and running up the score? Just run it up on everybody and deal with it. Some people just don't care that way, and obviously this coach feels the exact same way.
So that article is saying the defense should be able to stop them.
That's what they're trying to say. Hey, if you don't want it to happen, stop them. Otherwise, quit whining about it.
Hey, Black 22!
Now a first down throw, Watson. Over the middle, that's caught by QT. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Ravens have got it.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On first down, it's Watson. That will dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Watson. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
Green the line! Green the line!
One last throw here for Watson. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Ravens, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1, and they will head home next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for Houston, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are just moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They've been playing their best football of the year, winners of 4 in a row.
And they had it easy last week. They jumped out to an early lead and then put it on cruise control from there.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Chargers, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should. And what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. First down, Prescott. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up and covered easily. I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody cover. Oh, he just stuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. A second down throw for Prescott. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. His first catch there. Good for 10 yards and a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 14 carries, 58 yards, and a score.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that, but they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people that's the block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
How about the... throwing the football, 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. Excellent effort defensively by him. 2 tackles for a loss last week, now 1 here in the first quarter.
He's an absolute disruptor, isn't he? And I think most offenses would love to go against guys who just want to hold the point of attack and try and keep things clean for their linebackers. But when they make those moves and they can get upfield, past the offensive line into the backfield, that's hard to handle.
We documented it last week. They played so well defensively. 4 interceptions. Tried to get their hands on another one there.
And when you got 4 the previous week, you are just itching for more the very next week. And there was a great opportunity that went by the wayside, but let's not underscore what's going on with this defensive unit. They are around the ball every time it's being put in the air.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the Chargers grab themselves a 3-0 lead. So a nice opening drive on the road. You get the 3 points. Part of you wonders if that might hurt them later not getting into the end zone.
Well, the good thing is still first quarter, and they did come out of it with points. In a sense, they can look at it positively and say, hey, we set the pace in this one. I think that's how they'll go about it.
And he's able to get it up close to the 35 and hang on here. Penalty marker down. And this one might be going the other way.
Return team.
They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now here's Mahomes. Flushed out right. Oh, he's going to air it. They've got his man complete. A gain of 39 that time. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Mahomes now on 1st down. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Black 58 rail! Black 58 rail!
Here's Mahomes to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
And he's brought down after a very nice gain. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
Well, peel back the curtain, partner. We've got a pretty good look into how they plan to play this game. Aggressive seems to be the word. Going for it on 4th down in that situation.
Yeah, opening drive. Now, this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. In for the score. And the Ravens have taken the early lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route. Ordinarily, it's probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But let's have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Well, they tried to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. Back deep, the dangerous Tyler Lockett. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Fielded at about the 28. Look at the dance and the juke. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustment.
Mahomes hit. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Green 90. Green 90.
Now Mahomes throwing on 2nd down. Taking a shot for Samuel. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down. Then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back. But it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
On 3rd and long, it's Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens will add on to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw in that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Chargers. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. A 2nd down throw for Prescott. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And the return will stop right around the 25. The intended receiver there, Allen, he has just been a load for opposing offenses to account for. Now 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take it away.
They'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Ravens will extend their lead.
Well, Brandon, if we go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator, he showed us his script. Didn't show us everything now. He said, here's the script for the game. I think everything's going according to plan in a big way. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's about as good as you can do, I guess. So, well done.
Yeah, well done indeed. Tremendous execution.
And the formula there on the 2-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that someone, if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It'll be a gain of 4. And it'll be a 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a Turkey Bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but when he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for it in his ability to make tackles in the running game.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd, and that is incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Let's just go back. Last time on offense, it rolled downfield. Got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
Let's see if they dial it up this drive. The pitch goes to Barkley. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 11 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and very short.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And that's caught inside the 35. Mahomes finding Hill for a big play. 54 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Mahomes going to throw. And he rifles one incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the one he was looking for. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Throwing now is Mahomes. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. In for the score. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. It's been quite the game for him individually. A trio of touchdown catches now.
So pick a route, any route. Whatever you want him to run, he's going to do it and do it well and end up in the end zone. This has really been fun to watch.
So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
Here we go. Wide in. Wide in. Take.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Prescott. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Hunter Henry, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
Look, the 1st down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup, and guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a 1st down.
Give him 8 yards on the play, and they pick up the 1st.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moved.
Well, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And that'll set him back 5. The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. That pick, his 9th on the season.
Remember when we were kids and you were playing Little League Baseball and they penciled you in the 9 spot in the order? That wasn't so good, was it?
Were you in the 9 hole?
Or you played the 9 position, right field? That wasn't so great.
That wasn't. You'd be picking dandelions out there.
Exactly.
But the 9, well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Tyreek Hill with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. Now Ross to return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And the Chargers coming out of the field now. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while they're hurt.
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Khalil Mack in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. The Chargers on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. On play action, Prescott. He's going to float this one deep right side. That's caught at the 25. A big play on 3rd down for the Chargers. 44 yards.
And the key number on that play, 3. 3rd play of the drive, 3rd down. Spectacular catch turns into a first down.
First down saves them from a 3 and out. And they'll go on the ground. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game.